Hey guys, and welcome to Game 2 with MBC Hero versus SK Telecom. This game is going to be a game between Saint and Best. Once again, kind of like last game, although I completely kind of miscalled who's going to win last game, we have a fairly well-known player against a relative newcomer. I haven't really heard that much about Saint. Versus Best. Best is not the best. He's not Bisu, he's not Jadon, he's not even Cal. But he's certainly a competent player. He knows what he's doing. We do have Saint in, appropriately enough, the white Zerg. Saint doesn't really seem like a good name for Zerg to me. Maybe you guys, I mean, a saintly Zerg. Zerg just eat things. Zergs probably eat each other. They're not very saintly things. But Saint is going to be in the upper right, going up against Best, who looks like going to be in the lower left in, it's either yellow or orange. Go back to him. That's yellow. Going to be the yellow Protoss. This is going to be on match point. I think I forgot to tell the name of the last map, but hopefully you guys figured it out. Not to confuse people by talking about a map that we're not on right now. Best is going to go ahead and do that early pylon out into forge and cannons in order to hold Zerg back, or possibly a gateway, depending on what Saint decides to do. For thinking purposes, we are at 1 minute and a second, 2 seconds, and 3. Gonna have a pretty good game here. Obviously, this is a match point, so the Overlord is going straight for the other base. It's very easy to scout your opponent on 2-player maps, or at least it should be. You're early, and it looks like, yeah, we are getting a pretty quick spawning pool. So Saint is watching his good buddy High-End and is like, hey, early Zerglings work really well. I think I'll do that. He apparently forgot he's going against Protoss, and early Zerglings do not work. Well, I shouldn't say that. If the Protoss is smart and builds his, does the correct build order, early Zerglings do not work very well. Cannons eat Zerglings for lunch. It takes 2 shots to kill them, and it's pretty easy to wall off on this map. So, early Zerglings probably not going to do the best. And is that probe stealing minerals from the? Wow. Maybe it'll come out, but I kind of doubt it. And yep, there is the forge. We can expect some photon cannons because Best certainly saw that early spawning pool, or I shouldn't call it an early spawning pool, but spawning pool before expansion, which means he can expect some Zerglings sooner rather than later. And here's a little drone battle going on. Probe is trying to kill off, and drones are like, I'm gonna spit at you. I'm gonna spit at you. I got these huge freaking pincers, but I'm gonna spit. Drones are pretty stupid. I would call, these things can, like, rip the very, minerals out of the ground with their bare fangs. These gotta be incredibly strong claws. But no, they're gonna spit little bits of corrosive acid. Really? Terrans need a freaking drill to do that. But drones can just do it with their natural... Yeah. You guys know what I'm saying. And here comes some Zerglings. They're gonna... It looked like they were about to escort that probe home, but the probe is like, I'm not leaving yet. I want to see the base some more. Screw you guys. It looks like only 4 Zerglings left, and only 3 are going across the map now. So, actually, no. Looking at it, it looks like there's a few more. But yeah, there are more than enough cannons to make this bad news. And yep, the Zerglings are. The Zerglings are like, whoa, there's some cannons there. I think I'll just kind of stay back here. That's how every Zergling talks, by the way. Probably not. Zerglings would be all like psycho dog talk. Yo Caro did Protoss or something. That was not a Mexican joke, that was a Taco Bell joke. No one get offended. We do have, okay, yeah, looks like Saint went ahead, got a fairly early, that's not an early extractor, I shouldn't say. I haven't seen an assimilator on the other side, although there probably is one. And yes, of course, I saw this earlier, I didn't talk about it, because I don't know why. But Best has an expansion up and running already, so that's bad news for Mr. Saint. As a Zerg player, you never want to be down an expansion over the other guy. Period. You especially don't want to do it if the other guy is not Zerg. Being down an expansion Zerg is bad news, but it's not as bad news when it's Protoss or Terran. Because not only do Protoss and Terran outlast you, but having them have a production advantage over you is just, yeah, 1 hatchery versus double base does not end well for the Zerg. Man, Best is doing an incredible job with that drone. That drone has been hanging around forever. I mean, he's had like it's at times 6 Zerglings on that thing. And that drone is just like, yeah, I'm amazing. You Zerglings can't touch me. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm not gonna do that, guys. I apologize. It looks like Saint is either... Okay, yes, he did expand. Yeah, sometimes I get expansions mixed up with each other. He may have double expanded, because I do see some dots down at the lower... Yep, there's another one. So, thank you, observers. I had kind of figured that out on my own, but we were both kind of slow to move to that one. So, it looks like Hyen has realized that he's a little bit down on Best, and so he double expanded in order to get his economy up and running. If Best was going to go for a timing attack, this would be the time, because a lot of his eggs are going to be used on drones for the immediate future, although he is getting a Spire. So it's very possible... Ooh, and he's getting a 4th hatchery. So when that Spire finishes, if that hatchery... Actually, the hatchery is probably going to be a little too slow for that. So say he could have 12 mutas like that. I just snapped, I don't think you can hurt it, because I snapped really stupidly. And, Citadel of Adun. Best may be going for the Bisu build here. Not really the Bisu build, it's a little slow, and I haven't seen a Starport, but Citadel of Adun does sometimes be a precursor for Dark Templar. Asadi Templari. And is that a 5th hatchery, or is that the 4th again? I thought the 4th hatchery was in the main, and they just showed the expansion. And yeah, there is the Stargate. And there, so this could be the Bisu build. I still think it's a little slow for the Bisu build, but maybe, you never know. And no, that was just the 4th. He's not 5 hatcheries. But hey, 3 base 4 hats Muta are going to be scary. That is going to be a very, very depressed Corsair here in a couple of minutes, because that Spire is almost done. And there it is. Oop, there it is. So he's going to have Muta all over him here in a second. It's going to be like Muta like fleas in the middle of summer. I don't actually know if fleas get worse in the summer. I assume they would. I know spring starts flea season, so I'd assume summer is like flea assault or something. And yep, there come the Scourge. Not quite. I don't see a whole lot of eggs going Muta yet, so he's not going for a real hard push at the moment. He is getting more extractors though, so he could have a lot of Muta up in here in a second. And seeing those Scourge, he is going to go ahead. Excuse me, guys. I moved the mic away. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. If it was, I will go in and mute that section, because that was mean. I don't want to deafen you. That would be kind of cruel of me. Interestingly, it looks like there was a creep colony put back at the expansion. It may be that he'll go ahead and get a spore colony there in order to protect against the eventual Dark Templar. And here we're seeing Best's view of the game. Best is going over. Ooh, we just saw the Hydralisk didn't come up, which I didn't see go down, so this is how you know we're watching a pro game. Best saw something finish before I saw it start, and I'm not even in the game. And here we have the wonderful Saint with his Mutalisk coming in here. He's trying to take out the cannons, and he did a pretty good job of it. So cannons are down, he's running around and he's killing things. There is an Archon coming in and several Corsairs. Corsairs are going to be more of a problem for him than the Archon is, just because Archon, you know, with his building placement, he can just run all over the place, and that Archon will never get anything done. Pretty decent harass, although I think his mutas have taken a little bit too much damage. A lot of them are weak at the moment, and he only had 6. I don't understand, when you've got 4 hatcheries, why do you go in with 6 muta? I guess he just got gas blocked or something, and he couldn't make them all. But... And in case those, for the one of you out there that's confused, the reason that, not Hyen, Saint was green when we saw his first person, he used, I think it's like Shift Tab or something, not Shift Tab will get you out of the game, Shift Enter or something like that, and it will actually change you to green and your opponent to red. A lot of times they'll do that, just, I guess they'll get used to killing red, and so that's one less thing to think about in the game. They're just in the kill red mode. There's a lot of very minor things, they'll do all sorts of things. And there's a little battle between the Corsair and the Muta. Corsair are posing it. Oh, okay. Looks like he's not getting Dark Templar. He's getting Zealots with Legs. Zealots with Legs are very, very good at killing Zerglings. And those Zerglings don't even look like they have speed. So, Zerglings without legs, just Zerglings are rolling around on their stomach. They're Banelings. No, they're not. But Zerglings are doing a good job of denying expansions, and unfortunately those Zealots got caught, I won't call them out of position, but they're caught without any air support, and here comes some air support for them. But yeah, they took a lot of damage from those mutas because they were all also bunched up. So the glaive kept bouncing. One thing I think is kind of interesting that glaives and night elves are, well, glaives are shared between night elves and Zerg. Maybe mutalisks are actually night elves, just really ugly ones. Maybe that's explained in Warcraft lore somewhere. Probably not. Probably just that they both use glaives, and the glaive for Protoss or mutas is completely different. And here we have some Hydralisks coming out. Hydralisks are not the best. Ooh, hey, we also have fast Overlords, so we may be looking at a drop here pretty soon. Although, frankly, I mean, if he can beat that army out in the field, he doesn't need to drop, because Hydralisks make very short work of cannons. Hydralisks are excellent at taking cannons down. If you guys are ever playing your friends and he cannons up too much, just throw Hydralisks at the base. If he doesn't have troops, the cannons will go down like so much Silly Putty. Once again, I know Silly Putty doesn't really go down. And there go, that Overlord is going to get eaten. Well, okay, not eaten, but Overlord is not going to have a good day. He got splatterized. So, pretty good game we have here. It does look like, even though I think Best probably has the overall advantage, I will say that Saint has done an excellent job of map control. Best is having a hard time really moving out of his base. He's tried a few times, and he's run into pain.